Hello guys, we are on the 19th game of Gary Kasparov's masterpieces, and this is the final game. And the players are Gary Kasparov, and the black player is a computer called Deep Junior, and it was played in the Man vs Machine round 1 at New York City, USA in January 2003. The opening is semi-slab defense, stalls variation. And the lesson from this from this game is uh, you must not be afraid of your higher rated or well skilled opponent. If your opponent is more skillful, then you want to arrive at a position that are filled with complication. It is certainly true that your opponent may be more capable of navigating the tactical minefields, but at the same time it's more likely he'll make a mistake. In a simple position, a strong player is unlikely to make a serious error. So play ambitiously even against the strongest opposition. Remember, you can't win a game of chess unless your opponent makes a mistake. So you must provide opportunities for those mistakes. So uh, let's go to the game. Uh, and now let's see the game d4, d5, c4, c6, knight c3, knight f6, e3, e6, knight f3, knight bd7. Uh, this is the semi-slab defense, one of the richest and most complex of all chess openings. Black sets up a solid position but accepts a bad bishop at c8. If he activates that bishop, we will have good prospectors. Now queen c2. Then the queen is on a safe square where it can influence many of the light squares, and especially e4. Now bishop d6. The bishop is very powerful at d6 and g4 now. Surprisingly, Kasparov chooses to confront the computer with the sharpest line at white's disposal. Since black's king is going to head to king's side, the white king will lead to queen's side. And d takes c4, bishop takes c4, b6. The computer tries to solve the problems of the bad bishop by using queenside fianchetto. But Kasparov grabs the center and establishes an advantage. Now e4 and e5, black confronts white center directly, but it would have been wiser to plant the bishop at b7. Then advances c pawn, so to confront white's central pawn. Now g5, knight h5, bishop e3, castles. Here b5 is possible, but after bishop e2, he takes t4 and knight takes t4 and knight f4, long castles, and white is clearly better here. So after castles, then long castles and queen c7, then d5. Now b5. Now the c6 square is weak than it looks. It would have been much safer to advance the c pawn instead. But that would give a white a deep passed pawn to d white. D takes c6, b takes c4, and knight b5. This is the key move. Capturing the knight at the d7 would have led to an unclear position with no particular advantage for white. The elimination of the powerful bishop at d6 is far more useful and leads quickly to winning position. Queen takes c6, knight takes d6, bishop b7, and the bishop doesn't accomplish much at b7, and then and the knight at d7 is weakened. Queen c3 now, and then now rook ae8, and computer offers the exchange sacrifice, and if at all f6 is played here, then there is gf6, knight h6 brings the standard knight back into the game, stranded knight, and helps to defend d7, but the price includes losing the pawn at e5. After knight takes e5, knight takes e5, queen takes e5. The overwhelming position for white, who can use the g file to demolish black's king's protection. The knight at d6 is a monster. So here at all, here if at all this is used, then there is this knight h4, king h8, knight comes to hf5, and white's position is overwhelming here, and so g takes f6 can't be played, it would be a blunder. So f6, on the whole, f6 is not it's a bad move. So the computer offers the exchange, and after knight takes and after the knight takes e8, rook takes e8, rook he1, and here the computer operators didn't hold out for a long before giving up the ghost. Queen b5, knight d2, and rook c8, and king b1, and knight f8, king a1, knight g6, rook c1, bishop a6, b3, cb3, queen b3, rook a8, and after queen takes b5, bishop takes b5, there is rook c7, and the computer operators resigned here. Black's position is utterly hopeless. Okay guys, Kasparov's masterpieces have come to an end. I'll start with a new series on my next video. Thank you all.